it's my pleasure to introduce you the Ollie Douglas from University Museum of Reading. So, Ollie, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I can hear myself on a strange echo, so this is very strange. It's a great pleasure to be with you here today, albeit only in digital form. It's especially nice to be joining you in Prague. As some of you may already know, the organization that I'm here to represent, the International Association of Agricultural Museums, was formed in Prague in 1966, 55 years ago this year. This year also marks the 70th anniversary of my own institution, the Museum of English Rural Life in Reading, UK. Of course, our topic here in this morning's session is not so much a question of the past, but one of contemporary themes, trends, movements and ideas. So while I'm introducing things here briefly with reference to these key dates in our own institutional histories, we must see and think about the relevance of this heritage to the challenges and opportunities that we face now. Since 2017 and the 18th Congress of the AIMA, the International Association of Agricultural Museums, held in Estonia, it's been my pleasure and privilege to serve as president of this organization. It's been an extremely complex time for many of us, not least because of the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic, the impact of which has reshaped all that we do and will be felt for many years to come. Setting this world-changing event to one side for a moment, it's also been a time of extraordinary change in museums across the globe. It is a period that would prove hard to characterize, with the emergence of complex discussions concerning environmental responsibility, food security, migration and movement, colonial legacies, global trade, corporate responsibilities, far-reaching global campaigns such as #MeToo and Black Lives Matter, and debates concerning social justice and traditional museology. There has also been extensive discussion, of course, within our affiliate organisation, ICON, about the very role and definition of museums. It would be hard for me to summarise in a few short words the diverse ways in which these many challenges have been experienced by individual members of the agricultural museums community, or the ways in which they have influenced or impacted on the planning and activity of our AIMA institutional members. It's not the place of my organisation, the AIMA, to determine how you or your organisations should respond to these debates. However, as we gathered, albeit virtually, for our 19th International Congress, AIMA 2021, which was hosted this July by the Museum of English Rural Life, my own institution, we gave much thought to questions pertinent to the theme of past and future agricultures. This proved a timely and helpful moment to reflect that many of these issues play a significant and expansive part in our ongoing work. They have helped shape conversations over the last 4 years and will no doubt continue to shape our work as we move forward. Against this complex backdrop, AIMA has sought to modernise and streamline its work, to grow its capacity to respond to change and to develop and enhance its future plans. This work has included improvements to communications, to our digital presence, and you saw me sharing earlier, and I'll just share again some of that digital presence. So the website, our new YouTube channel, which has a sort of growing body of content which you're able to access. And for those of you who are on social media, we're now active on Twitter. We're about to have a social media representative on the committee, so hopefully we'll be a bit more efficient on social media as well. So as well as these things, we've been working hard to enhance our programs and related digital content. So on the website there's much more content as well. The preferences of our membership as an organisation were gathered and analysed by survey. This fed into some of these changes that we've been making and changes that we're continuing to make. We've drawn together new scientific and advisory committees to cement scholarly opportunities and maintain well-respected histories of our organisation and its various networks. So we would invite you to participate in those conversations as well as in the membership conversations. We've also worked tirelessly to grow our community, investing enormous effort in developing a stronger online presence, and as you've seen, the improvements to the website, adding rich new content. It's now much simpler to join. It's still a bit complicated, but it's getting easier all the time. So I'm plugging membership. And we've also delivered web-based events like so many of us for the very first time. So I've mentioned Twitter. The handle for that is @Museums AIMA, all one word. And if you're a YouTube user, I'd encourage you to check out the content on there from our digital symposium last year, and also the growing content that's emerging from this July's Congress. The keynote sessions are up there, and wider content is set to follow. So in due course, all of that material should be accessible. As my immediate colleague planned and prepared for our most recent virtual Congress, we were extremely disappointed not to be able to welcome our members in person to the UK, just as I'm very disappointed to not be with you in person today. But in my time with AIMA, I've been lucky enough to travel and meet with many AIMA colleagues over the years in Scotland, in France, Slovenia, Estonia, and in India, so we're hoping that these in-person opportunities will return fairly soon. It's with hope that I look forward to more interaction and contact with members of the world's agricultural museums community, both online and in person, at future events like your wonderful gathering this week. I'm also very excited about the 20th Congress of the AIMA, which, subject to the confirmation of a vote at our forthcoming Mixed General Assembly this December, will hopefully be held in a blended form, both online and on-site, in New Delhi, India in 2023. Which will mark a departure for the AIMA community. This will be the first time our Congress has been held in the Global South. In a final nod to our organisational past, AIMA last visited my own institution, the University of Reading, in 1976, a year that was characterised by devastating drought and terrible harvest, but also by amazingly fruitful AIMA discussions by a dedicated cohort of agricultural heritage peers. As we've gathered in a digital way this July, under the auspices of those same institutions some 45 years on, we did so in the wake of disastrous periods of drought and flooding, which had played havoc with UK farming throughout 2020. And as you gather in Prague today, and many of our contemporaries gather in Glasgow for COP26 to discuss the enormity of climate concerns now facing the world, I can only hope that we do what we can to rise collectively to meet the period of extraordinary agricultural and climate challenge we're facing, with a similar flourishing of debate within our brilliant community. So let's also hope that we continue to share ideas, knowledge, skills, food, and the amazing experience of international partnership and friendship that your conference and our AIMA membership represents. We're now going to hopefully play a short promotional video that was made in the run-up to a virtual symposium that we ran in 2020. This will offer just some basic information about the AIMA and what membership offers. If you're not yet an AIMA member and you're keen to join, or you've been a member in the past and you're keen to rejoin, do please visit our website or get in touch with us. The video was produced by our German colleague Klaus Kropp, and Klaus is hopefully, again subject to a vote in December, soon to take over as president of the AIMA from me, so it seems only right that he should also be speaking to you today, and he sends his apologies as he was very keen to be able to join, but is extremely busy. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, and now I try to start the video.
The International Association of Agricultural Museums, AIMA, was founded in Prague in 1966. Its purpose is to educate the public about the significance of agriculture to human society, to explain the many ways that agriculture has evolved through time, and to facilitate dialogue between museums across the globe about agricultural topics and discoveries. As an affiliate of ICA, it exists to serve agricultural museums, as well as open-air museums and museums that have large agricultural departments or collections and research workers engaged in this field. AIMA promotes cooperation between this area of museums by aiding the exchange of exhibitions and exhibits encouraging governing bodies to sustain support, making detailed recommendations for collecting and documentation, and providing a vehicle for the exchange of information on exhibition techniques and didactics. AIMA promotes research and encourages collaboration among professionals working in agriculture and rural museums around the world. AIMA members meet every 3 years at an international congress to discuss opportunities and challenges that affect museum operations. The conferences include formal sessions, tours of museums and heritage sites, workshops and networking opportunities. The conference host, often a national agricultural museum, publishes the proceedings as a permanent record of the intellectual content of the Congress. When it comes to active networking, join colleagues working on similar projects and themes through AIMA working groups. These include living animals, agricultural museums, art and agriculture, and digital collections, among many other things. AIMA offers a broad variety of different sources on its website, including conference reports, an internationally recognized fantastic newsletter, as well as a blog, which in the last week started to issue a special series of posts focusing on the role of bees in agriculture and beyond. Becoming a member of AIMA comes with various advantages. You will not only get the chance to get a lowered registration rate at the upcoming conferences every third year, but also have voting rights in the general elections. Another great advantage of being a member is that you will get a regular subscriber of the already mentioned international newsletter.
Okay, I guess that's all. Ollie, are you still there? Okay.
I am here. I'm very happy to answer any questions if you have questions about AIMA or anything that I presented or that came through in Klaus's video.
Okay, is there any question from the audience to Ollie? Thank you very much for the short presentation of AIMA, and I hope that the Czech museums will join the association, and hope that you will come to ICOM General Conference 2022 that takes place here in Prague next year. So it would be our pleasure to meet you here, and if there is not any question, I have just one concerning to digital content. Do you cooperate with Europeana, or how do you present the digital content in general? I mean, as an association, or every museum do it itself, or is there any strategy or any plans?
We have a YouTube channel where we present the video content that we've accumulated from symposia and from the most recent congress. So that's a growing online resource. Many of our membership, many of our institutional members will also be participating in wider projects like Europeana. So I know for a fact that my own institution participates in Europeana and presents material through there, as well as through Google Arts and Culture, other online portals. In terms of the AIMA itself, it's a small organization, but one that's growing and expanding. And the membership are very welcome to present their projects and activities through our channels to share with the wider agricultural museums community. A good example of this is the expanding blog content that we now have on the website. So members are invited to write blogs, often on particular themes. So we follow some of the UN Food and Agriculture Organizational themes, international themes that extensive newsletter for members, which offers a roundup of lots of things, including conferences and events, but also ongoing activities and exhibitions, programs of content within institutional member organizations or led by individual members. So that's another mechanism that we distribute this kind of information. And as we move forward, we're hoping very much to expand the digital content that we have available and make that into a growing resource. We also have good partnerships with our North American colleagues through ALFAM, the Association for Living History Farm and Agricultural Museums, who have an extraordinary database of membership content, so past papers and material from their conferences. And we're hoping in the near future to be able to provide access to that enormously rich body of content to the AIMA membership as well, through a sort of direct partnership between those two corresponding societies. So lots of exciting things are happening digitally, and we really encourage you all to get involved. It's very cheap as well, so I'll add a final plug. It's not expensive to join us as an individual or indeed as an institution. Check out the prices on the website.
Huge plans, thank you. I really appreciate the idea of the blog. Okay, is there any other question? If not, thank you very much, Ollie. You can join us, however the presentation will be in Czech, so thank you again, and see you in Reading or Prague.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm sorry not to be there in person.
No, that's great.
Hopefully in 2022.
Okay, bye.